Morning, everybody. Check our volume real quick. All right, should be good now. Yeah. Morning, everybody. All right. So, just giving you guys a heads up, I will be mostly off mic today just because I'm still getting over the flu. And I'm at the tail end of the recovery period, so talking a lot can mess my throat up. But I know I missed yesterday, so I'm gonna get on and show you guys a bit of what I do behind the scenes whenever I'm thinking about a new build. So we got. You'll probably hear random going in and out, ins and outs, stuff like that if you stay on long enough. Just because, like I said, me getting over this crud. All right. So I'm switching the gun right there, just so I can actually, not have to zoom in. Do a ball. So a bit of what I look at whenever I'm trying to decide on a new build is like what videos have I already done, right? I mean, I'm a new channel, so I do have a lot of options available to me, but then also what have I really enjoyed in the past and I want to show you guys my version of it. And I'm really thinking of jumping to making a solar hunter build. I mean, solar hunter got a massive rework, especially when it comes to golden gun deadshot. And I was running this yesterday, just playing around deadshot, and dang, this thing, they really reworked this thing. It was really good. Really good for ad clear and just knocking out waves of enemies. But anyways, so I'm thinking of solar, right? And so when I think of subclass, then I gotta think to myself, okay, if I want to do solar, what exotic can pair well with it? And whatever I've done a solar build, I've always really loved the young Ahamkara's spine. Goodness, that's a mouthful to say right now. But which means trip mine grenades and ability damage grants trip mine energy. So switch off to the grenade maybe. Right, put on a Ahamkara. Right, I don't know if I want to stick with grenade though, because I'm not just gonna be chucking grenades the entire time. Right. I gotta there's a whole cycle to this that I saw Mactics do. Mactics create one. Which that cycle, right? Let me see. We'll put Carl up here. All right, which is good because we got a full loadout down here. So anyways, yeah, the whole loadout, the whole cycle is right. You're supposed to chuck grenades, throw your knives, and cycle back into the ability damage. So let me just go and clean slate my fragments here. Actually, notably, I just want to clean slate this one, right? Just because these others won't really matter. Okay. And burst singeing does affect the rotation, which I want to show off the problem I've always encountered. Sorry about that. Anyways, so yeah, the problem that I've always encountered was what to do when you run out of the rotation, right? Because rotation is throw a grenade, right? Ability damage gets it back. Chuck knives, throw a grenade, dodge, get melee back, throw knives, throw grenade, and throw one more time just for good measure, right? Because of the scorch buildup, right? And then that's it. And then you gotta wait for one of your abilities to come back to be able to start the cycle all over again. So I was trying to think to myself, okay, how do I complete the loop, right? Because throw grenade, throw grenade, throw the knife, dodge or grenade, dodge, knife, grenade, and then stop, right? You couldn't connect the bridge here until maybe you got your grenade back, your dodge back, right? Now I dodge, got my knives back, throw knives, and now I got the grenade all over again, right? So, yeah. So then the thing I'm trying to figure out is how do I complete that loop? Well, that came down to, right, if how I get my grenade back is based on use my melee, then really what ties into it is I gotta get my dodge back. And I took this off for a reason, because Ember Singeing, your class ability recharges faster when you scorch targets. Right? So if I go over here to the rally flag, right, just to dodge to get it off. Okay, throw grenade. And now it's scorching, and you see down in the bottom left corner that it's coming back a lot quicker. Right? Throw for good measure, okay, it's recharging back up. Right? And then I got also at the same time, got my grenade back. Well, that's fine and all until you run out of charges again. Right? So, because that only solves half the loop. So, just to kind of show off now. Right? So, grenade, knives, grenade, dodge. See, I already got my grenade back. Grenade, knives, grenade, grenade. Right? And now I gotta wait a few seconds. Well, when you're in a swarm of enemies, that few seconds can mean a lot. So, and especially I'm only able to pump this up because I got a 100 class stat on, and 98 melee, 98 grenade. Right? Actually, these aren't my optimal stats. Okay. So we're actually going to go ahead and fix that real quick. What was it that I was using before? I think it was it. No, actually, I got the whole loadout saved already. I like that drip. I like that drip. Also, shout out to the fact that I'm finally got a full set of tier 5 gear. I've been running these dang solo ops for so long and pulling from Zavala for so long that I guess my power level has slowly climbed to the point that I can just start farming for tier 5 gear, which is incredible to me. Right? So, but anyways, right, that's part of the problem. That's part of the loop I ran into, right? So I'm looking at 130 grenade stat, 102 weapon stat, because I'll explain that in a second. 70 class stat, because 70 is really all you need to have a normal actual class cooldown. And then I got a 74 melee stat, right? I'm not really tithing to super. I wish I could, but I'm not, because I want to focus on the other ones I mentioned. So the problem that I ran into, right, going through the cycle, okay, grenade, knives, grenade, and grenade again, and dodge, and boom. See? And something, what's going on now? Alright, now I gotta fix something, because I think I was messing around with something else. I didn't want to. What was it? No. I've changed something in this build testing now. I'm trying to figure out what it was, because I used to be able to get my full melee charge back. Alright, Gamma's dodge. And then, see, this is how it all ended up working. Gamma's dodge, gain energy dex scale to your melee stat. Alright, so we gotta get a higher melee then. So, which, since all of our armor mods except for, well, you know what? Let's test it then. Let's test it. Switch off the melee, or switch off the class. Alright, we drop to 60 class, get to 84 melee, and let's just see, alright? And we already got the whole stat again. Alright, so grenade, knives, grenade, grenade, dodge, almost there. Knives, grenade, grenade, and then you're done, right? Well, that was the problem to me. That is the problem to me, because I don't like having ability downtime. So then I thought to myself, okay, if the in-between is a knife trick, and I need my knife trick to get the Gamlish dodge back, well, on top of the fact of needing a higher melee stat, right, so I can dodge, I mean, I don't know if I'm in the right proximity to get it back. I mean, well, let's see. Let's test that too, right? So get rid of your knives. I was back there, so let's see if this works. Okay, so I wasn't close enough to Carl to get it all back, right? If you're in an ability spam build and you're close in combat, you'll be near enough an enemy to get that back, right? Because they rework Gamma's dodge to where if you're farther away from an enemy, you get a good chunk of it back, but if you're closer to an enemy, like it doubles, I think it is. So if you're close to an enemy, you'll get enough back to get the loop all given. So with that in mind, right, as soon as we get the class build back, there we go. All right, so now let's get in close proximity and see how it goes now, right? So grenade, knives, grenade, dodge. See, now we get a full knife charge back. Knives, grenade, and there you go, right? And I didn't like that. I've ran this build before, and I didn't like the fact that, okay, why is it that at a certain point, I gotta stop? Okay. So then I had to think about, okay, if the loop stops once you use your class ability, right? And for someone like me who trying to focus on, the stats that he needs to, okay, as you guys saw, well, actually, let's go back and play around with this. Okay, I think it was this one I switched. So now we got that 70 class stat again. Let's see what changes. And we got our full stats again. Right, so grenade, knife, dodge, knife, grenade, and even still, right? Still running into that problem. So that goes down to, right, looking back into the setup, okay? Because if you guys saw, right, done this a couple times, the next logical choice would have been to dodge, right? Dodge, try to get that melee back to then get, and here I am talking with my hands with nobody seeing me. What was it? Throwing my grenade, throwing the knife procs grenade, and then continue the loop. So then that ties into, okay, well, if I can instantly get my knife trick back based on my dodge, well, now I got to think, how do I get my dodge back? And that goes into Ember Singeing. Ember Singeing, a class ability recharges faster when you scorch targets. Okay, and I'm like, well, cool. So if that's the linchpin to try to help complete the loop, I need a way to consistently scorch targets. And that ties into a couple different things, right? One, new Praxic Blade. Okay, new Praxic Blade within backcore scorches targets. So every time I hit a target with my Praxic Blade, I'm scorching them, therefore proccing Ember Singeing. Okay. Now I tested this out in Pinnacle Mission yesterday to see if it's actually working. But then it's like, okay, well, I'm slowly starting to become a guy that ends up making no Praxic Blade builds. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Praxic Blade. I literally have Star Wars Episode 1 playing right next to me in my office right now. So I have a huge Star Wars fan. I love using the Praxic Blade. In fact, I'm so happy the fact that the other day, I got a recording of it, I'll post it eventually, of when I got the quest for the yellow crystal. Right? I was stoked about it, and I saw how to farm it, jumped in, farm it, got it, and I am like over the moon. I love running around the yellow saber. But not everyone has the Praxic Blade, and people are half tired of seeing Praxic Blade builds. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Praxic Blade. I love seeing Praxic Blade builds. I don't need that. Probably should have used that for other purposes. But anyways, excuse me. So at the beginning of the live stream that I'm still getting over the flu, so I'm at the tail end of this gunk. But anyways, right, enough rambling. If the goal is to scorch targets, right? Scorch targets to get back our dodge. Okay, well that tied into how do I scorch targets? Well, my first thought went to, I think this is it, yeah, my Mida Mini tool. I love this thing. I had this thing locked because of Envious Assassin with Incandescent, right? Great roll, I'll be sitting there going down with my Praxis Blade, destroying everything, and all of a sudden I switch back over to my Mind of Minitu, and all of a sudden I have over 100 bullets in the chamber, and I'm like, dang! But my first thought was incandescent, right? Defeat target, scorch targets. Okay, well, that could help. But I'm like, that's not what I want to do, because if I go through the Praxis Blade, right, that scorches on hit. I don't have to try to kill a target, which is going to be downtime to try to get my abilities back. So my mind went to 3 or 4 weapons. All right, first off, notably Lord of Wolves. All right, Lord of Wolves with the Catalyst. Right, when I'm using Release the Wolves, every time I'm shooting from or hip firing, I'm applying Scorch on hits. I'm like, cool. So I was like, all right, well, let's try it. Okay, let me go ahead and switch back to Lord of Wolves. Right. Rally flag, get it back. I'm like, awesome. So right through the loop. Dodge. Right, and then now you see, right, now we're auto applying, now we're instantly applying Scorch and getting our dodge back. Well, I thought I hit gold. I'm like, great, Lord of Wolves, way to go. All right, that is the way to go. But then I ran into the next problem. Okay, if I'm going through waves of enemies, you know, there's Lord of Wolves and everything. Which, don't get me wrong, Lord of Wolves will work. I love this shotgun. Right? Shouldn't even be a shotgun, right? Because it's like a stinking auto rifle. But then it tied into it. Okay, well, that goes into ammo economy problem, right? Lord of Wolves is a special weapon, and it has a finite amount of ammo. So which means it's not going to be able to continually apply Scorch like I need it to. Because if I'm having an infinite ability spam, Lord of Wolves is a finite gun, right? So I'm like, okay, well, Lord of Wolves is a great option. Praxis Blade, great option. The only reason why I'm not running Praxis Blade is because, to be honest, it kills the enemy too quick. And I tested this out like mid-battle, that if the enemy stays alive longer, then Ember of Singeing will still keep rocketing. I got to actually verify that too, but that was my immediate observation. Right? You know what? Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Get ready, Carl. Bye, Carl. And switch off to, we'll just do this. Actually, I think it was a bunch of red bars that I was fighting at the time. So, alright, get ammo for Praxis Blade. Use the dodge. And, right, there's that. There's that. There's that. There's that. There's that. So we had to go through, right, 4 different enemies. Okay, well, let's just, like, okay, kill one. Okay, see how long it goes. Alright, and put about halfway. Okay, great. Alright, still going. Okay, so I had to kill at least 3. Okay. So, Praxis Blade, cool. So long as you got like 3 enemies, 3 red bars you can take out, you can get it back. Okay. So, next thing I want to test is something that I noticed. Maybe it's just the mission that I was on. I don't know. But then it came to, okay, how, right, if Lord of Wolves and, technically speaking, Praxis Blade, they're both special weapons, so they do have a finite amount of ammo. The next problem I ran into was, cool, how do I, like, fix the ammo economy problem? Because eventually I'm going to run out of ammo, which means the cycle will stop until I can pick up another special ammo break or go to chest, whatever. So I'm like, alright, next thing is, okay, is there a primary ammo weapon that can apply Scorch? And the first thing that came to mind was Tommy's Matchbook. But again, with the Catalyst, right? While ignition is active, final blows of the weapon cure you and sustain fire, Scorch the target. So, okay, so you have to have the perk up to Scorch. I was like, great. Alright. So, if we switch over to Tommy's Matchbook real quick, get rid of our dodge. Ignition trigger. Right. Now, as you see, okay, yeah, we ran out of ammo, but We also had to clear through like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5, 5, 6.5, 6 before we finally got it back. Right? I'm like, okay, cool. Tom's MacBook, great. Love the cure effect. It works if you got more enemies to deal with. So I'm like, okay. But at the time, right, if I'm like, I was running the Node Avalon, right? I'm like, well, problem is, in order to apply Scorch, you got to keep that bar up. So I'm like, okay, that works, but leaning a little too heavy into the weapon set, and that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on. All right. So the final solution was okay. I've always known Skybrenner's Oath, right? One of the most, ironically, one of the exotics that people talk trash about the most. Okay, Skybrenner's Oath does apply Scorch, and the fact that again, you don't need a catalyst to say, right? If you have Tommy's Mathbook or if you have Little Bulls, and you don't have the catalyst, this ain't gonna work. But Skybrenner's Oath. Sorry, this weapon lobs explosive slugs when you're aiming down sights. The slug travels fast and straight. When you're firing from the hip, the explosion is larger and applies Scorch to the target. So it naturally is going to apply Scorch, right? You don't need a catalyst for to do so. So mid battle, I wanted to test. Okay, because as you guys just saw, right, killing targets. Okay, I got to practice blade. I had to kill 3, right? 3 and just sit. Tommy's Matchbook. In order to keep applying Scorch, I had to get that bar up, which means I had to keep killing enemies. But this thing, ironically, again, one of the most despised exotics in the game for some reason. I don't know why people talk trash about it. It naturally applies Scorch, which means it's naturally going to give us class ability back. So I wanted to see, and I know this thing used to hit hard on Cabals. I don't know if it still does. Yeah, there's extra damage to Cabal. Alright. So, and boom. Right? Only took 2. Well, or rather, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we still had to get through? Okay. Well, that still became a problem to me, right? If I'm so focused on the ability spam, right? The question is, okay, how do I get that back, right, in the most efficient manner? Well, then I came and I discovered, right, I noticed that if I'm, right, cast my dodge, and shoot one and just let it sit. And just let it sit. Right? And now we're at 2.5. Right? So, ironically, the trick with that is while everyone's so focused on taking out the enemy, right, their enemies and trying to complete the mission as quickly as possible. Okay, it was like, cool. But if you're playing a longer mission, you got to think long term, which means you got to have that ability, your way of getting your ability chart, your ability to loot back. And so, for me, it only took like 1 or 2 enemies when I ran the semi-pinnacle mission, but I think it's because everyone had higher health. So even just to show you, right? Go into, right, we got harder enemies. Okay, orange bars, cast your dodge, pop 1, just let it sit. Okay. 2 shots. 3 shots. Right? And boom, got it back. Okay. Or, right? 1, 2, 3. See how quick that comes back. Alright. So, hopefully you're seeing the difference, right? At least with red bars, I had to go through and, like, you know, if I was talking Matchbook, I had to mode down. If I was using Practically Blade, right? So I had to go through and mode down, okay? And I know they're going to shoot back at you, right? I'm not ignorant to that. Okay, but if you end up getting to, like, the point of where you're at in combat that the enemy count is low, just pop 1 and let the Scorch sit, right? Let Ember Singeing do its thing and let it come back, right? That way you have at least 1 loop in you. Okay, you can pull out another loop when you get ready for the next wave, right? Now, I feel like a bit of a heretic whenever I am using my Solar Hunter because I am a huge Blade Barrage fan. I love the knives throwing out. I really leaned into Solar Hunter in episode, oh goodness, it's whenever Kaido's Nightmare and the Leviathan came back before Lightfall. Goodness, I can't remember the season now. But anyways, it's whenever Solar 3.0 came out. I really leaned in Blade Barrage, and especially the knock him down aspect, like made it even work, made it even better. Um, like it was huge. So, oh, actually, I never read this about Deadshot. Our enhanced Deadshot Golden Gun has damage resistance. Oh, nice. Okay, I actually never do that. But I saw they reworked Deadshot, and I hadn't actually tried it out yet. Actually, I never ran Deadshot before, but just let's see if this actually works, right? You need an emergency escape button to, whatchamacallit, just clear through with enemies that keeps coming at you, and you're on Solar Hunter. I am recommending Deadshot now because, dang, like I said, I've never been a Deadshot guy, but I might be pulling up my old Western hat now because that thing was sick to me. All right, but anyways, right. So this is kind of where I've landed, right? I love the young Ahamkara spine. I'm gonna look into more Solar Hunter exotics. Right, I think Shards of Galanor is the one that I want to look into next about um, like having knife charge giving back super energy and blade barrage stuff like that. Because again, I love blade barrage, right? But blade barrage and everything, and young Ahamkari is kind of like my go-to when it comes to grenades or when it comes to Solar Hunters. But if you are, to me, this is a really good solution to help bridge that gap, right? Having an exotic that auto applies Scorch every single time you hit. And again, Braxic Blade, Lord of Wolves, Thomas Matchbook, Skyburner's Oath, they all work. Okay, they are all good. They all work. Me, I'm really leaning towards Skyburner's Oath right now because one, that out of all the weapons I have, that's what I have. You don't need a catalyst. It's a primary weapon, so it's never going to run out of ammo. Okay, so I don't have to worry about something like Lord of Wolves or Praxic Blade running out of ammo. Okay, and yes, to the fact that it doesn't deal as much damage as something like Lord of Wolves, Tommy's Matchbook, or Praxic Blade does, right? Which means I can get more out of Ember of Singeing, right? It's really what I'm leaning into, okay? So that is just like the crux. That's the foundation of the build, right? Leaning into Ahamkars, getting everything back. Okay, cycling through your abilities. Okay, well then, right? So that leads into okay, what about the other 4 fragments? Okay, well, when you get on your mark, okay, because again, everything that I test in my videos, everything I test in my normal videos, I'm always testing survivability, damage output, and timeliness. Right, timeliness you can't really exactly test unless you actually go through a mission. But damage output, you can test that in the shooting range. Survivability, you can test in theory in the shooting range, right? It's a finite amount of enemies, so not consistent wave after wave, right? But you gotta have some way of getting health back, right? Now, there's always the good, recuperation, right? Picking up more power gives you health back, right? That's always a good standard staple. Here, let me get my health back, right? I can actually switch this off to solo weapon search. Because I think I was running that when I had Praxic Blade on at the time, the mission I was on. But you need a way to get your health back, right? Which, there's always, a couple things like, one, Ember Resolve, right? Solar Grenade, Final Blows, Cure, which is great in a grenade-focused build. If you're constantly able to chuck grenades, this is a good solid one, okay? Me, Cure is like my second choice of solar healing because it's a one-time big push and that's it. And if you're in a storm of enemies, you don't have that constant regeneration. Okay, me, I've always been a fan of Restoration. right? Restoration is that continual health back over time, right? And especially that time in that season when Solar 3.0 was first introduced and they like gave you restoration times 2, man, that made me fall in love with the restoration perk. So then the next question was, right, because Solar Hunter, right, you got Solar Titan, you have Solar Warlock, okay? They have great ways of getting healing back, but Solar Hunter's kind of always been lacking in that unless, workarounds, right? Pardon me, I'm so sorry. Keep forgetting to shut off my mic. But Solar Grenade Final Blows, cool. That's great if you have red bars that you can chuck a grenade at and try to instantly get that health back if you're in a swarm room. Okay? Well, then it's like, alright, yeah, on your mark. Okay, Final Blows, when you're at 10 stacks security, right, pop your dodge, go to town on enemies, right, every single kill will heal you there too. It's like, okay, but that's still Cure. By the way, that's new, That's a new, like, a couple patches ago that we're able to apply Cure now. But that still wasn't what I personally like. Now, if you love Cure, if you're okay with Cure, and you can swing the build where you can just keep applying Cure to you, great. Then this part of the build doesn't fully apply to you, but it helps. It helps with the healing aspect, right? So what I like to tack on, okay, Ember Singeing, right, get class bit back. But the wombo combo I like to tack on is Ember Mercy, right? Picking up a Fire Sprite, grants restoration. Cool. Now, it's only like 2 to 3 seconds of restoration, okay? But it's a quick, okay, cool. I'm going to apply Cure. Okay, I'm going to apply Cure, get a boost health back, and that little bit of restoration helps keep it up. Okay, but it's like, all right, well, and there's Ember Mercy. Okay, and especially with me as a solo player, the first part of it, when you revive an ally, you and other nearby allies gain restoration. That doesn't actually, I can't really lean into that because I'm a solo player. Right, I can't lean into the fact of reviving somebody else. But I can lean into picking up a Fire Sprite, grants restoration. But the next question was, okay, how do I create a Fire Sprite? Well, Ember of Searing. Defeat a scorched target, grants melee energy, and creates a Fire Sprite. So that's going to even lean into more of our loop of getting our energies back, or getting our abilities back. And the key word there being scorch, like, oh, that's great. That works because we're already trying to scorch targets because of Ember of Singeing. All right, scorching targets grants our class ability back. So then, if we look back at all of those abilities, Trip Mine Grenade is going to scorch targets. Knife Trick, throw flaming knives that scorch target and hit. So now we got 2 different ways to scorch targets, and every time we scorch, we're gonna get class ability back, which is gonna again feed into our loop, and then again, right? Sorry about that. All right, and just kind of, I know I went breeze through Trip Mine Grenade, explosive grenade that sticks to surfaces and detonates when targets pass through it. There's laser triggering, deal damage, and moderately scorch targets on hits, right? Okay. Does Golden Gun scorch? Yes, it does. Summon a flaming pistol that scorches and disintegrates targets with solar light. Okay, and then again, you got some of y'all just saw that when we went through that, we cleared that entire wave with a single dead shot because, again, the way they updated dead shot, every single time you get a kill, it's going to refresh that super bar and give you more bullets. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3 different ways you can scorch targets, and not to mention, Skyburner's Oath. Okay. Now, don't click off if you see Skyburner's Oath. You're just seeing it and go, oh my gosh, he's using this thing. Okay. Trust me. All right. Doesn't need the exotic catalyst, great, but if you don't want to use it, that's great. Tommy's Matchbook, Lord of Wolves, Praxis Blade, all scorch on hits. Okay. Me, I like Skyburners. All right. I kind of always have been. But this being, I think, way number 5, yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 ways. 4 ways we can get scorch targets. 4 ways to scorch targets. 4 ways to get a Fire Sprite. And then 4 ways to get restoration. Okay? So we got 4 different ways to proc restoration, which to me is huge. Now, pardon me. The last part of this was okay, what do I do with this last fragment, right? This last fragment option, okay? Because I'm trying to get my class ability back. I'm getting Cure on grenade kills. My wombo combo to give me restoration on scorching targets, or on defeating a scorched target. Well, before I think I ran in this slot was, oh goodness, what was it yesterday? Ember of Torches, I think it was, because we were using our melee attack so much. I think it's what it was. I think I wanted the radiant aspect. But I think, or maybe it's Ember of Ashes, right? Apply more Scorch. I think it's Ember of Ashes, actually. Apply more Scorch targets. Scorch targets. Right, because our whole thing, our whole setup is just to keep scorching and healing at the same time. Well, I liked it. It worked. If I had opportunities to catch a break, right? If I'm in higher end content, I'm surrounded by enemies. You don't have a lot of time for a break, right? But if you're able to knock out enemies, that's great. So then I'm like, okay, let me try this. Ember of Empyrean, right? It's a great fragment. A lot of people recommend it. A lot of other builds that don't use the Wombo combo, because I know it's 2 fragment slots, recommend it. But I'm like, let me try, okay? I'm already spamming Scorch and getting Restoration back with my abilities, okay? So let me try it and see. And I want to try this out because solo weapon or ability final blows extend the duration of restoration and radiant effects applied to you. Well, that was okay because, again, from Ember of Mercy, that restoration was only 3 seconds. And I can honestly say, and I didn't realize it was happening, but I was spamming the ability so much with this setup that every now and then I'd look over at my buff bar, and I had a full timer set of restoration, like it was back in the day when Solar 3.0 first came out. And I locked in. I'm like, okay, this is it. This is what I want to use, right? Now, again, you don't have to limit yourself to like not using the Practice Blade. You don't have to use Skyburner's Oath, right? You can use Skyburner's Oath. You can use Practice Blade with the Impact Core, right? Impact Core is going to score targets. You can use Tommy's Matchbook. You can use Lord of Wolves. If you have another weapon that auto applies Scorch on hits, that's kind of the key thing with this. You want to apply Scorch on hits, not on kills, because it works. You know, I said earlier in the stream, I love a Mina Mini tool because of Incandescent and Nemesis Assassin, right? Incandescent's going to apply Scorch on kills, right, to nearby targets, but that's too slow to me, right? I want something that's going to instantly apply Scorch and instantly help get my dodge back so I can get the loop in, right? So they work. Skyburner's Oath, again, I'm just using it because I'm the guy that likes to challenge himself to not use the Praxic Blade, right? Praxic Blade, it works. The only thing I would recommend if you really want to milk Ember of Singeing to its max, don't take out the target just yet. Don't like instantly go to take out the target. Which, hold on just a second, I gotta go mute for a second. Okay. This is later than I typically stream. But my whole rule is, because again, solo gamer dad, right? The dad part of me will always win. So I stream in the mornings because my kid's asleep, and but my rule is if my kid starts to wake up, I end the stream right where it's at, and I go take care of my kid. Right? I don't stream whenever they're up. So, but anyways, right? That's kind of the deal with the build, right? So I just kind of go through and demonstrate one more time. All right, I'm gonna just put this back on, put Practice Blade on. My elf actually had ammunition in my Practice Blade, right? Proc my dodge, so I can just get rid of it. And right, okay, so like there's 1, there's 2, and 3. Okay, so it gives as much Scorch energy back as Skyburner's Oath, right? But again, like I think my problem with it was maybe it was taken about too quickly. I don't know. Maybe I'm losing my mind right now. That can happen whenever I'm sick. But oh, not that one. All right, there's 1, 2. Okay, so 1 target. 2. So 1.5 targets. All right, my point. Also, if you notice, I didn't actually say this in the first demonstration, but if you are going to use Skyburner's Oath, right, what I would actually recommend, and this is a technical thing, aim for the feet, right? Because it says in the description that that it's a lob that will apply scorch. It's kind of like a grenade, right? If you aim for the feet, it doesn't take him out as quick, right? But they just take you out, right? Aim for the feet, and you can still use one guy to help give you majority of your class ability back, right? So that's kind of what I'm landing on right now. That's what I'm landing on when it comes to Solar Hunter. So all right. Actually, what ship do I have right now? I'm actually, you know what? Let's change the color scheme on this. Actually, transmat effect. I actually, funny enough, like the pyramid entrance. But let's see. Can we change the color scheme? Ooh, that's pretty good. Nah, that's actually not bad. Slap that on. Not what I'm leaning to. Ew, no. Primer. That's not bad. That's the color scheme I used to run back in the day. Back in the day. Yeah, that's Warmind, I think, right there. Nah. Shipwright's Finery. We'll remember that. Still got the Omlon Gamma on. Just for you, my brother. Alright, so I will be right back. I'm going to go take care of something real quick, and then come on back. Actually, I might be having it in the live stream here soon. We'll see. But be right back. Alright, I'm back. Hey, what's up, Eric? Oh, thanks, man. Hey, it was rough yesterday, I'll say that. It was rough. I did not want to. I'm still half, like, sounding like crap, but... Sorry. Alright, there we go. Alright, so... let's take this and test this out. Right, oops! Nope, no. Wait. I do not want the champions on. Well, don't want the champions on. Overload submachine guns. I also don't have a way to deal with anti-barrier right now. Because I don't have a way. I mean, I technically do. No, let's just run it without the champions. Alright, we're not trying to punish ourselves today. Run it on expert, just because, again, like I said, I don't want to deal with the champions right now. Yeah, let's just have fun, right? Let's see if this actually works. Right? I hate the fact like I'm having to take a step back from making warlock builds only because I'm still trying to build up. I guess build up my notoriety. I guess just like hey, SGD's actually got some good solid builds. Problem is though, right now people are really enjoying and seeing the Hunter and Titan builds. Even though Warlock was the first class that I picked and love Warlock. Um, but I got some good ones. I'm yeah, I gotta slow down the Warlock builds unfortunately just because it is a lot on me to make these videos and yeah, I don't know. I know this probably sounds weird. But no, yeah, that Storm Dancer's Brace build. It makes me so happy seeing that dude again. Like that's just straight nostalgia from Red War. Alright, and drop. Ah! And I've really been liking testing into Node Avalon, just because like it's a good. Like I really like testing in Grasp of Avarice dungeon, that intro section, and I'm really starting to like testing in here too because it's a wave. It's an infinite wave mechanic, right? You can only move forward once you complete the puzzle, and if you want to test out a build, it's a really good mission to test it because one, you can change difficulty more. Alright, now I gotta kind of lock in. Alright, we're ready to pop this right now. And boop, boop. Let's go ahead and get restoration going. And see, that's what I was talking about earlier, right? We already got restoration up. Got restoration up to max stats. Oh, come on. Oh yeah. Like, ever since they gave it the update for Renegades, like, and I posted a video on TikTok too. People were like, "Wait, aren't you supposed to be getting kills to the boost?" I'm like, not anymore. Not anymore. Now it's just you get built the charge with hits. So now you're just Emperor Palpatine the entire time. I think the only thing that would make it better is if you had a red crystal. Yeah, that would. All right, pop golden gun. Pick up. Where's that? There it is. There's Scorch, and start getting restoration up. And see, this section right here is where I debate, like, should I actually run the Practical Blade or not? Right? Because Practical Blade is good, yeah, and... Ugh! I hate hobgoblins. Oh, also the fact that we also got Golden Gun back. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here, you know, pop a golden gun. There you go. And where you at? There you are. Oop. Oops, I missed. And just like that, got all our abilities back, too. Like, this setup is insane now. Like, I'm gonna try and keep an eye on my, super bar, because I only got 60 super stat right now. Oh, excuse me, I just realized I forgot I'm on my microphone. And now we're at half. We still have restoration at full mark. Like, I'm honestly wondering if that's kind of how you want to jump into the fight, is start off a golden gun, because that way you can get restoration up. About to have full marks again. There's both of them back. And there's super again. And that's at, what'd I say, 60 super? 63 super? Yeah. That's not even a full 100 stat super. This is like ridiculous. We'll get full restoration again. Just will you stop shooting me, please? You're low-key annoying. All right, let's get into our cover spot. All right, what we got? Square, diamond. Square, diamond. Square. Here's a grenade for you. Ah. And diamond. Now, don't get me wrong, these little pools of like ability energy have been fun, but like it's kind of frustrating as a content creator. Just be like, all right, let's actually test this out, and all of a sudden step in a pool and you got full full ability back. Come on, dang it! Ugh. And did I just? No! Oh! When did the hole get there? I was standing the whole time. Oh, right there, right there. Okay. All right. Well. All right. So that's what it looks like without Praxic Blade. All right. Now, let's do something real wild and crazy. Let's run it with the Praxic Blade. Oh, I hate the fact that Sword Logic and Incandescent are in the same column. All right. Is this a primary? Because this also has Heal Clip and Incandescent. It is a primary. Ooh. Thank you, Zavala. Alright. Let's see what happens when we get Praxic Blade on this thing now. Oh, won't keep this up because for some reason I can't parkour if I'm in third person. Alright, we got a Fire Sprite cooldown, so which means we go there, to there. And oh, rude. that heel clip's a little nice. Pretty nice. What we got? We got Diamond Square Diamond. Oh, if you ever need to run this mission, there is little pockets right here that, and there's two pockets. There's one right here, and there's one on the other side that kind of shields you from everybody. And Doubtful Restoration again. And just like that, we got our full, we got a rotation back too. And I was saying that earlier in the stream. That's always nice right there. Like, if you run a Praxic Blade, your focus is going to end up being Cure, but that little boost of Fire Sprite at least helps you keep your health up, as opposed to, you know. That's been my problem. That crud. Alright, what are we doing with that? What are we looking at? We're gonna diamond down to square diamond. Diamond, diamond, square, diamond. Is up next? Diamond, square, diamond, diamond. Oh, I'm done. Oh, there you are. Must have stepped in a pool. If I could actually hit. Jeez. Alright, now comes the fun part. Alright, soften them up with grenade. That didn't work at all. I wish Praxic Blade was something along the lines of, like, it would change, kind of like the fusion rifle that was released in Final Shape, that it would change its element type based on, like, your super or something. Because if that was the case, this build would, like, really send off. Only because, like, Ember Empyrean is, like, my only regret of using the practically is because Ember Empyrean, right? You gotta really focus on your abilities if you're going to lean into trying to get full-on restoration, right? Now, don't get me wrong, it's good for like when you drop a Scorch and you are, whatchamacallit, just trying to get your health back pretty quick. But like if you're trying to maintain that restoration buff, it actually doesn't exactly work that well. Just because of, alright, we got 5 quick. Oh, come on. I got distracted. Yeah, it doesn't exactly work that well, just because it's not solar weapon, right? So Ember Empyrean, right? If you scorch a target, yeah, even if you scorch a target, it's not going to refresh or give you more restoration. Because like even I don't even think Ember Solace actually helped with giving us more restoration thanks to Ember Mercy, right? So, let's try Lord of Wolves. Just to see, right? Lord of Wolves, it does apply Scorching Refinement to hip if you have the Catalyst. But, you know, I wasn't that entirely a fan of it just because of how much damage it did. Which is weird that you're wanting something that doesn't give you, like, do that much damage. Thanks. I mean, alright. Lord of Wolves ain't being that too bad right now, actually. Alright, so we got Square Diamond Diamond. Sit back here, go into Diamond again. Oh man, yeah, I saw that coming. Alright. Yeah, Lord of Wolves ain't that bad. Lord of Wolves ain't that bad, especially when applying Scorch and trying to, you know, solo weapon, so it actually ties into using Ember Empyrean, right? Solid weapon. And Lord of Wolves always kind of been a solid weapon. So now, let's just do set Lana crazy, right? Thomas Maxbook is really good for the Solar Titan builds. But let's see, right? It's a build testing video. It's a build testing live. Right? It's not a, you know, performance live today. You know, it's alright, yeah, we're going to complete this mission today.
It is as though the network is testing you.
Come on. And pop golden gun. Alright, we got Times Master up and going again, so let's... Wait, do you already have it back? Okay, that's something to note right there. That we already got our class ability back. Huh. Except them bang pool right there again to get our super back, but oh well. Hey, what's up? Thank you. Alright, square, diamond, square. That's 2, and then up for square again. By the way, I put a poll out on this, but, you know, for everyone's listening. If someone came and asked you, like, knowing that you play Destiny 2 and wanted recommendations for Destiny 2, what class would you tell them to start in? Alright, get a little too hairy. You know, Times Master ain't that bad. Oh, what do we got? What are we looking at? Diamond, square, square, square. Okay. Let's go back to our cubby. Hidey hole. Oh, shoot, I forgot. Alright, diamond, square, square, square. Starting off diamond, starting off diamond. Alright, start again. Alright, double, so diamond square, now double square. Alright, let's see if we can get our super back real quick before we start actually taking care of those hobgoblins. Thankfully we got restoration up. Alright, I guess we're going to start doing the hobgoblins now. Ah, rude. Don't teleport when I'm trying to throw a knife at you. It's not very nice. And got gold again. Alright, what we got? We got square, square, diamond, square. Oop. Square, square, diamond, square. Alright, so diamond, square, diamond. It's not following me. And now just diamond. Alright, now for the big wave. Good as this. We're about to have golden gun. Yeah, pop. Did that thing just shoot it out of the air? Ooh, good thing I got that restoration up. And check the grenade. Come on, man. Leave me alone. Go back to your hole. There we go. Took some work, we got there. Hey. I wasn't never this hard before. I don't know why. Yeah, that wasn't that hard before. I don't know why. Alright, I think we'll go back to Skyrunner's Oath now. Just because. Alright. I think I might switch on to something else. I've gotten myself distracted. I've showcased, you know, Bill's been showcased, right? It's been you know, I showed the fluidness of the build, right? Float knowledge and the how to get your abilities back, something like that. So yeah, give this build a shot, right? It is actually pretty fun. You know, this build, like, if you're the type of person that you love ability spam, give this build a good shot, right? I know hunters typically are the ones that have the highest problem with Okay, there you go. Make sure my mic was on. I know hunters are typically ones that have problems with, keeping your health up, right? But this build, like if you watch through the Avalon stuff, right? You can keep your health up pretty well in this build because you got the on your mark aspect that you're getting cure from that, right? Dodge, get on your mark. Okay, you're able to hit cure while you have 10 stacks, right? Defeating a scorched target from anything in this build setup is going to give you drop a fire sprite that gives you quick restoration. If you're using the solar weapons, right, the three we talked about between Skybrenner's Own, Thomas Matchbook, and Lord of Wolves, right, you're going to get restoration up a lot, and you're going to keep it up. So give it a shot, right? I will say I was genuinely surprised by Lord of Wolves. I was genuinely surprised by Lord of Wolves. The fact that one, it's already, if you have the catalyst, great. That's what's really going to sell this. And I know 2 weeks ago they sold the catalyst for Xur, or from Xur, and this week they're actually selling Lord of Wolves right now from Xur. So if you don't have the catalyst yet, but if you don't have Lord of Wolves, get Lord of Wolves, right? Just get your hands on this exotic. I've seen Xur sell the catalyst a few times. So it'll come around eventually. Or if you drop it out, if you catch it out in the wild, great. If you have the catalyst but you don't have it unlocked yet, get the catalyst unlocked. Like, I cannot explain to you how good this gun is in other builds, right? Give it a shot, okay? If you don't have either, but you have Skybrenner's Oath, don't sleep on it, all right? It will naturally apply Scorch, which is the biggest thing that we want to do in this build. Excuse me, right? Don't sleep on it, right? No, it's not a high firing weapon. No, it's not gonna put out as much damage as Thomas Matchbook, Lord of Wolves, or Practice Blade will, right? But it naturally applies Scorch. Okay, it's gonna help you get that class ability back quicker, which you saw so far. If you've seen so far in this demonstration, that you're gonna get your class ability back is one of the biggest things because you're naturally gonna get your knife trick back from your class ability, and you're gonna naturally get trip mind grenade because of Young Ahamkara Spine, because of all the ability damage that we're doing everywhere else, right? So give it a shot, okay? Play around with it, right? If you got something else that you like to use, sorry, that was a big comment on Twitch. Anyways, but yeah, give this build a shot, right? If you got something else that you like adding into it, or you got your own weapon that you absolutely love to use, great. Keep it in, because the whole point of having, like, at the end of the day, Destiny 2 is a game, right? I'm a content creator saying that. I feel like it's taboo to say, oh, it's just a game. At the end of the day, it is a game, right? If you have a weapon that you absolutely love to use it, right? If it flows with the build, great. If not, okay. See if you can puzzle out a way to use it yourself, and that's what makes the build crafting in this game so unique, right? I was a huge Skybrenner's Oath fan back in the day, okay? And that's how I remembered, oh yeah, this thing actually gives Scorch on hits, and which is what I need in this build, right? When I first started playing out my time of Destiny, huh. I have to think about that, man. I gotta think about that. If you're actually serious about that, I do have a business email linked in my bio if you want to take a look at it. Send me an email. All right. I don't typically read emails for everybody, but maybe we can do something later today. Who knows, right? I'm just spitballing right now, right? We'll see. All right, but anyways, yeah, give it a shot. Okay, if you got a favorite weapon, use it. Okay, like I said, I was a big Scavenger's Oath fan back in the day. All right, I love just bombing the field with, you know, a stinking scout rifle. Okay, at the end of the day, D2 is just a game. Have fun with it, right? I know this game is not in a good position with a lot of things right now, but if the game if everyone just keeps complaining about it, the game's going to die off, right? It's as simple as that. If people keep on trashing and hating instead of actually taking what Bungie is creating and making something out of it, then the game will die off and we won't have the game anymore, right? Which is going to drastically affect the gaming community. Right? There's a lot of people that play D2, a lot of content creators that do stuff off of D2. I'm not saying that based off myself, okay? But have fun with the game, right? Don't just go, oh, they're not doing this, therefore I'm not going to do this, right? Biggest thing that I did when I was first starting out D2 was I fancied myself a exotic collector, right? I made it my mission as a, made it my mission as an RPG, since it was a RPG game, right? I wanted to make it so like, okay, cool. I fancy myself an exotic hunter, right? I went and hunted down and got my hands on as many exotics that I could, just because. So it was like, ooh, am I at the cutscene? I'm at the cutscene. Trying to find his way with the phone. That's just great. Exactly.
I want to talk to you.
Exactly.
To help you understand.
Eric, you said it best. If you love it, play it. Right? That's the biggest thing. Okay? Have fun with the game.
Don't touch it. Sorry.
Right? Bungie, for a little bit there, was trying to change up the classes a little bit so you could lean more into the RPG aspect. Oops, I guess I'm supposed to be on this side. You want to talk? Oh, okay.
Of three, that you might have your necessary presence at this point in space, in time. Command. Your first step. Scheduled at our hand. An intervention necessary to ensure attendance.
The Nine killed me to get me here?
From simple perspectives, the technicality. Light bearer. Thank you for your attendance with minimal interference. To you we say, vengeance required. The culprit lies within. The drifter must prepare his gift. Emissary, reveal your truth. Wake the dead. They will speak. You will listen.
Why would we listen? The Nine manipulated our lives.
Like,
How far
if I
back?
can say something like kind of controversial too, if you go through and play Renegades and then come back and replay Edge of Fate,
You showed me how you died.
Edge of Fate actually is not that entirely a bad game,
I already knew the rest.
right?
You just
Bungie has had a history of their first initial launch and stuff, like
That's right.
apparently D1 back in the day was horrible, right? D1 had a very bad start. D2 had a very bad start, right? But then as they introduced more DLC, it became better. And if Edge of Fate is the new launch to the new saga, then yeah, it's having a rough start. People have been, for the past around 10 years, focused on defeating the Witness. Okay, but now we're having to change gears. And so the fact that Bungie's got something in the works, great. Means the game, they're not done. They don't want to be done with the game. Right? Take games like Anthem. Okay? Anthem is getting shut down because they were done with the game. and it was underperformed so bad because I think people trashed it so much. D2 will have the same effect. D2 will have the same result if people just don't learn to enjoy the game, right? Of course there are things that could be better. Of course there could. Right? There are a lot of things that I myself would have changed when it came to Edge of Fate. Right? For example, I wouldn't have done the reset for the power. But looking back, it makes sense, especially if Edge of Fate is the new, like, quote-unquote D3, essentially. I wonder what was said to her there. Did y'all notice the sign was lit up with only the word 9? Did y'all ever notice that before? Why is this taking so long to load? That's crazy. There we go.
What was your name?
Lewis. Agent Lewis Sierra.
Thank you, Lewis.
Alright, what's up next?
How long did you know?
From the second I saw you.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because you're not her! I figured the 9 put you here to torture me. The one face I'd recognize. And she had no idea who I was. If I told you, it would be because I wanted that. Not because it would help you.
Right. It doesn't. You know that much about me. Lodi, did the 9 kill me just to ensure I would end up here?
Yes. Maybe your body had to be in the right place for your ghost to find you.
I woke up by a car in the desert, with a flower in my hand. Ophiuchus chose me as his guardian, and every choice I made led me here.
Catastrophic intervention. That flower was an Aster. She...
I don't want to know. Don't tell me her name. Don't tell me anything about her. She's dead.
And boop. What? Alright, so big old wyvern mat there. Big old wyvern mat there. Big wyvern means big body catch a grenade. I'm gonna die. 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 I'm not gonna die! Yeah. Why are Minotaurs so aggressive, bro? Like, come on. Alright, you know what? Only because there's about to be a lightsaber fight going on right next to me. It, you know. Aww. Well, guess got popped the infinite golden gun. Where's that restoration at? There's that restoration. Alright. So what's the actual question shooting right now? Alright. So that is... What? Am I supposed to talk to someone over here? Oh, yeah. It might actually help if you have the indicator on.
Guardian, you've got an incoming call.
Guardians forget their past life for a reason. Who we were is immaterial to our potential as paracausal beings. I am Ikora Rey, Warlock Vanguard, Scholar, Pioneer Thanatonaut. I've won hundreds of Crucible matches, and I have thwarted humanity's most dire threats time and time again. The woman I saw...
Ah, yes, a duel of fate right next to me.
I knew. She wasn't me. I don't even know her name.
Straight up Darth Maul's my favorite character. Star Wars character.
Warn her. She had a life. A vocation. A family she loved. The Nine took that from her. And for what? So they could throw the very same train that killed her at me centuries later? Sprinkle a clever little trail across Seoul for us to follow? For what? I have no desire to see more of that woman's life. But I need answers. She deserves them.
It's crazy to think about, though. Like, if you actually sit down and think about Ikora's past, that's insane. Like,
That you?
you have no memory, recollection whatsoever of anything.
Right, I'm patching her in. We left off on the wrong foot.
And then all of a sudden you wake up and you're told you had a daughter that these paracausal forces took you out and like took you away from the whole life you knew, but you remember none of it. Like, that is insanity to me.
Like to clear the air.
Have I seen the trailer for the new show? I think I've seen clips of it, and I am stoked for it, especially the fact that Sam's writing it.
Where we need to be.
I think Sam's writing it. Either way, Sam's reprising his role for Maul. I think he has a hand in the writing, which, when you take a guy of one of the only few people in the world who has impressed George Lucas himself, you know the show is going to be good. Like, have you ever seen the, what is it? The, interview he had when he was reprising when he was in the role for Starkiller? Like, if you haven't, dang. His gun is so good.
You're a tad late for this skirmish. Or early. Either way, you must have seen the Vex going about their deterministic routines by now.
Seeing that name is so funny to me.
Trying to assimilate everything around them. They mean to turn us.
I had a buddy of mine. Ironically enough, his name is Orin, spelled the exact same way, I think. He ended up moving to the other side of the country for me, but
it's thinning. We need
it's weird seeing that name again.
I haven't been able to get close enough for a detailed assessment, but you can.
I had to reach out to him, see how he's doing. For real. So yeah, the trailer that I'm talking about, so just yeah, the part that really like is impressive to me was when he was auditioning for Starkiller. I think it was a scene where he was having to meditate and make his lightsaber. Or one of make his however it's working. Anyways, when he did it, he was so like he was putting off this front of being like in pain and like angry, and like they stopped the audition and like, what are you doing? Like he's supposed to be making a lightsaber, like he's supposed to be meditating. Is like, who's taught him how to do that? What do you mean? Well, this guy's only been turned to the dark side, right? The dark side is you're supposed to control everything, manipulate everything to your own will. Like, if he's trying to become a Jedi on his own, no one's taught him how to do any of this. And so he's trying to be a Jedi the way he was taught as a Sith. And like, they're all just like, what? Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh man.
Old HCO networks into a sort of security lab.
She's also right about tearing it down. Keep your focus on the present and find a way through. Without active surveillance, you'll be able to move through the surrounding canyons without tripping Vex security every 10 paces.
Oh, that's how you shut it off, okay. Sometimes spatial awareness does actually help. I love the fact that I got the yellow saber. You know what? I'm gonna do something real quick. I'm gonna switch this onto refraction core. Just for now. Alright, just that way I can, you know, because if I end up swinging through this, I will run out of bullets. Or energy. Let me just switch cores real quick so I can get more energy back, more ammo back, until I get enough to really go to town. Alright, and pop this. You know, I wish they had... I'm gonna trip security. Cyber protocol activated. Don't care about security whenever I can take you all out. I wish they had like a Stronghold exotic version for the Hunter. Like, that'd be so awesome to me, because I think, because Stronghold is probably by far my favorite exotic on Titan. I think in like my first solo of like, solo flawless of like the Final Shape campaign on Legendary, with Stronghold. Just walking around, and I had the combo of a flash counter, stuff like that. I did not end up getting the flash counter hatchling combo during Heresy. I wish I did, because that combo in itself was disgusting. But it was cake. It was straight up cake going through that campaign with that setup. And now, especially the fact you have practice blade, you can sit there like cheese your way through almost anything, to their whole block and a lightsaber with Stronghold, and just, yeah, be cheese. Respecting the balance form, because I don't have the other one yet. One of these days I need to run a Equilibrium dungeon, like, fully. I've gotten up into Harrow, but that's about it. I haven't beaten him yet. Of course, also haven't taken the time to sit down and do it, but it seems like a fun dungeon. I will say that. It definitely seems like a fun dungeon. A fungeon. Alright! Let's check out the DPS of this. Alright, and let's go ahead and get the class ability back, because we need scorch targets. There, we got it back. Dodge, we get the melee. Does, yep, he's immune again, so which means we gotta go through and take out all these targets. Grenade. Pop, thank you. What were you sitting here shooting at, my guy? What were you shooting at? The wall? Alright, round two. Oh, come on. Which means I need to go back to Matter Spark. Become the ball. Did I do it? It did it.
Taking the Vex's security lattice offline revealed something, Guardian. There's a massive dampening field that extends to the area we know 3 is behind. It's a barrier to entry, but from these readings, that isn't its purpose. Rather, it's stopping anything from getting out.
I'm seeing that too. It's the same type of quarantine protocol the Vex use to close off damaged portions of their network.
Alright, I guess we're just gonna sit down right now.
Singularity expanding too, but we'll need to remove it to get to 3.
I remember something else now. A hooked request. There's a message I'm to remember here. It's like a decompression, like plugged ears.
I think I'm gonna try to get my brother into Destiny 2.
Back from me. I know.
I think I'm gonna try to see if I can rope him into
I want to help.
actually playing. I'm just gonna sit here and show this again. You know, just in case, you know, for some reason. Ooh, did I get Firefly? Ooh. Okay. That's not bad. Heel clip with Firefly. Alright. We're gonna lock that so we don't accidentally delete it again. I don't know why we're using this one, not the red one. I just now realized that we're not using the good one. But yeah. Got a nice new Sparrow Crimson Rocket, got it from the Eververse store, I think. And just in honor of my brother, I'm putting Amlan camo on it. So, I'll try to show him later. Anyways, what was I doing? Alright, gotta go back out. I go back out that way? Yep, back to the hole. Back to the hole. See, I was thinking this was a, wait for the mission timer to end. Where'd it go? Oh, it's back there. What time is it? That's what time it is. Slide. Oh man, didn't work. I may have to jump off here soon. I don't know. I'm thinking. I'm having people coming over later for the Super Bowl. So, and I still have to go back to the grocery store myself and get a couple things before they come. Oh, there it is. There's the weird tree. Okay, back on top. And there it is. Still don't like puzzles. Jeez Louise.
The dampening field signal is coming from this direction, but it looks like there's a branching point.
I see it. They're disseminating the dampening signal to hundreds of frames. This is...
Gotta look into that.
We can get through here now.
Yeah, it's just a random train coming out of the ceiling. It's alright.
The signal's getting stronger, and it looks like I was wrong before. The dampening broadcast isn't emitting from one thing. It's three. There's something else. There's an old colonial research terminal still running from when the Ionians landed here. I didn't know that until we were close, but it looks like the Vex are trying to access it.
Interesting. Let's kill two birds with one stone. Bring down the dampening broadcast. And in the chaos, we'll crush their incursion into the old colony
Oh,
systems.
movie's over next to me.
Cracked knuckles.
Been on long enough for her to go through all episode 1. Next thing I want to look into having to do is how to go live on TikTok as well. Just because I'm really building up a presence there as well. Not as much as YouTube, but I know I'm missing out on stuff by not going live on TikTok.
Without you, Guardian, my steps would be mouse squeaks in the floorboard. I've always been more gauntlets and thunder.
We don't have time to be anything but gate crashers. It's the Guardian's forte anyway. If you're looking for quiet,
Oh, it's this puzzle. I hated
come
this
back to
puzzle.
the
How
city
do you
with
do
us
this
when
again?
This is over. Rebuild your
Okay, I
life in your own
think
hands.
back
City sounds like
here.
bitter
Okay, I
medicine.
think it was back here. Yeah, it looks like it's back here.
We'll see.
Alright, this the tunnel leads to nowhere, or this was the tunnel? I will say one thing that I've kind of been feeling like I'm led to supposed to be doing is starting to post, like, taking the verse of the days out of each of the videos and making them their own clips.
The broadcasts are coming from those giant minotaurs.
So I finally was like, alright, the most recent video that I will be posting, probably some point next week, I went ahead and made a TikTok of the verse of the day out of it.
Stay low, Guardian.
Ooh, where am I supposed to go? Yep, episode 2 is on. I'm gonna die right here. That door open? That door is not open. Where the mess am I supposed to go? Alright, I remember there was a Matter Spark thing somewhere that I had to go through. Yeah, I gotta look for that Matter Spark. Oh, I feel like I walked in on something I wasn't supposed to see. I was standing around looking at nothing. Oh, there's a hole up there. Alright. Whoop! Okay. Where does that way go to?
Look, another
Ah!
concentration of dark matter. It might be in harm's way.
And then drop in the hole. Ah, there's the hole. Keep on going. "26 seconds. This is one very long tunnel.
I'm detecting shield projectors nearby, but it's protected by a security lens. One step at a time, Guardian.
I do gotta say, something ain't adding up to me. While radiant, final blow. Oh, dang. Okay. That's okay. Dang. Okay, so that tells me. Dang it. Okay. Alright. So. This whole time I've been trying to figure out why is my. I've been trying to figure out why the heck my knife trick wasn't refunding itself. And I just realized that, again, the second part of Knock Him Down, while radiant, final blows will, with your quick throwing knife, will fully refund. So I gotta go radiant. Which means something not good. Aha. That means if I want to lean into the spamming aspect of Knock 'em Down, I gotta figure out a way to become radiant. I mean, because I know Golden Welch's benefits from becoming radiant doesn't exactly help you become radiant, so Acrobat's dodge becomes lets me become radiant, but it doesn't give me my melee back. But it might, because let's try it. Let's try it. All right. Let's see what happens. All right. I've never actually used this dodge myself, so let's see what happens. Right. And go radiant. Of course, that didn't really help. But I guess the good news is
This should help us get to the security vent.
oh, not that one. That one. Alright, so Sharon's getting blasted. See, I don't want to do... I keep forgetting I don't have the right dodge on. Alright, dampening Minotaurs, eliminating Crush Conductor's Mines. Okay, so obviously I gotta use Dark Matter for something. Let's see where this goes. Ah, okay.
Check their shields. The interference is dying down.
Yep, shields down.
Charge!
So rating again. Well, there we go. Okay.
Dampening field weakens. Orin, contact the 9. Punch through that Vex interference.
Huh. This might actually work, because here's the other thing about this, right? I mean, it's going to take some adjusting, but right, what's it? Making a fire sprite, defeating square target grants melee energy. So, okay, so if I don't have my melee, now I can just go around hitting with the Brax blade and scorching targets and get melee back. Huh. And then just pop radiant dodge, so that way I can get the spam going. And yeah, that might actually not be that bad. Oh, that, well, Oh, there it is, right there in the hole. Alright, we got the shield down. Oops. And there I died. Alright, well that's good to know then. That's really good to know. Defeating scorch targets grants melee energy and creates a fire sprite. Fire sprite is going to give us restoration, and it's going to help give us our melee back if we don't get a final blow. But Acrobat's dodge doesn't make us go radiant, and then also can be extended because of our Ember of Empyrean. We might actually be starting to cook here. Because on the Solar Hunter builds I see, people don't use Ember of Radiant. Or Ember, the Radiant dodge, really. Might be onto something. See, and that's the benefit of watching these, sticking through these build videos. Is, I think this is, and Eric, you were here the last time whenever I was running the Void Titan, and all of a sudden I realized, hey, wait a minute, we can run third iteration and go invisible while having Overshield and Devour. Right? Playing around with these builds kind of helps you realize, oh, wait a minute, I can do this with it too. And we still have full abilities, and I can go ahead and get rid of my melee here temporarily. And I think this is the part that I love about Destiny 2 so much, is that there's so many different customizations you can make to these builds. Right? One small tweak changes so much. Radiant, and just go to town. Get restoration. And yeah, we basically got our melee back. Yeah. Being scored targets gets melee energy back thanks to Ember of Searing. And yeah, we already got it back. Okay. This might be the piece I was missing. Although, when it comes to the boss spam though, that's where we kind of run into trouble, because now we don't have damage dodge to kind of get that loop going again. So, the only other thing that I could think to do it is get rid of Ember Empyrean for Ember, whatever the solar version of Ember Facet at Dawn is, to get a Radiant on melee hits. It's the only thing I can think of to swap it out right now. Because I don't know of any other way to go Radiant right now. I don't think there is another way to go Radiant other than Acrobat's dodge, which can work. But then you gotta think about the flow differently. And I already did that one. Somebody's not paying attention. I already did that one. Come on. I wonder if we can get the other one, too. Where is the other one? Right there. Or not.
You, Guardian. A trophy message. A globe spins below you, the planets above. An event into the encoded horizon.
Have a grenade. Thank you. No, 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 no! Oh, man. Come on, come on! Arrgh. Alright, so let's get back up there before you lose it. You already lost it. Very good. Alright, well, let's just spam the send balls. Oh, come on! Alright, I am going back to my normal flow. And let's put on Ember of Torches. Power melee attacks make you radiant. Alright. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is put on Tommy's matchbook. I'm going to do matchbook. Yeah, let's go matchbook. Just hate the fact that now I gotta be more careful. I can't go infinite restoration right now. But that's the name of the game, right? You gotta be careful. You know, you gotta see what you value most. I mean,
Oh.
add clear time. The fact that Super is still going. I cannot believe the rework they've done that to that. Like, that's insanity. Alright, there's one.
And the dampening field weakens. Orin, contact the 9. Punch through that Vex.
Alright, where's that tree at? Because I'm not liking getting pulverized right now. Alright, that's both of them, so we might be able to actually take out both of them now. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Overshield? Where the heck did you get overshield from? Golden gun time. Come on, come on.
I see.
There we go. That's better.
You got it. A timely message. I see it. The message is a weapon. The weapon is the message. fate forged. 9 hammer strikes ring. Scattered sparks, cupped in hands. A weapon, quenched in slick oil.
Alright.
I see the outline of sharp light and frost. All that surrounds it
Alright, gotta go.
easily cut away.